There's still one power that works in a world that seems broken. Hey guys, it's John sitting here in the studio drinking my mug of water as usual. You know, highly empathic people want to save the world. They want to serve and be part of that changing the world. But you can't fix the whole world. You can't fix the whole world. I often tell empathic people that you, the only thing you can do is make your part of the world so bright that the world chooses to save itself around you. Just choosing to be that loving brightness, that is not only enough, that is the divine power. In a divided world, one loving act isn't small, it's revolutionary. People are divided and suddenly somebody says, "Hey," it's like that story in Kent State where the National Guard was there with the guns, and the girl walked over and gave the guy a flower. That one gesture is memorable. Here, years later, I'm still talking about it. Of course, Kent State didn't go well for a lot of people either, especially four of them. But a small act of love is revolutionary. What is a revolution? A revolution is tearing down an old system and creating a new one. Being revolutionary is to say, I'm going against the things that don't work and creating something that does for the people. Love is the only doctrine that works. It's the only one that actually everyone is agreed on. They all want to have love in their life. They all want to be loved unconditionally. They don't want conditions. They want just be loved for who they are, respected for who they are. This concept of the world changing through love is exactly what Jeshua taught. He never gave a theology. He gave kindness, healing, compassion. In times of division, rules break down. But love always bridges, and that's what Jeshua did. He always brought love to the game. He didn't care who was in front of him. He didn't care what they said or thought or did. What he did was he delivered love to them without a condition. When you break down the conditions, you find that your natural state is to be loving. And love always bridges the gap and gets you to that cohesion, because everybody wants to be loved. And when you are delivering love, you are actually meeting them and giving them exactly what they want. Love is not passive. It's action-based spirituality. You decide to be loving, and then you put your thoughts, words, and deeds behind it. You go out there and you do the thing that brings love to the world. For me, I make a ton of videos about being loving and creating a loving world. For me, I go to the grocery store and I smile at people. I see someone coming out and they look like they're having a rough day, and I give them a compliment just to give them a joy, a laughter, smile. I see somebody whose hairstyle I like. I tell them I like it. I share my loving intention. I share my appreciation for them, and I talk to everyone like they're equal, no matter what they look like. And now, a quick word from our sponsor. Coffee Time with John. This channel runs off coffee, so get your coffee and tea at johnsjoe.com. When you think about the concept of division, people don't feel like they're being seen. And one story that I always talk about is the story of Antoinette Tuff, working in a high school office when a young guy walks in, a young kid, student, walks in with an AR-15. And her response was, "What's the matter, honey? What's going on?" He says, "Nobody cares." She says, "I care, honey. I love you. What can I do? What do we need?" And she ended up hugging him and talking to him. And then the police were all like this. She called out. She said, "You listen here." She says, "This young man's hurting, and you're going to come in here. You're going to treat him with respect. You're not going to hurt him or harm him. I'm going to take care of him. You're going to come in here." And the police came in and they talked calmly, and they took the gun away, and they took the young man for mental health. But it was Antoinette Tuff who came at that child with love, who came at that child with, "I'm here for you. I'm with you." When you see, as I said, the woman with the flowers to the National Guard, when you see that opportunity to see someone on the side of the road who's struggling, people often say that person on the side of the road, well, they're just faking it, or they're just being lazy or whatever. Do you know what it takes to actually come to a point where you finally go out and stand on the side of the road and beg. To be in that situation, no matter how they got there, to actually stand on the side of the road and beg, they had to have gone through something to bring them to the place where they saw no other way. And when you can help that person, no matter how you help that person, whether it's giving them food, giving them clothes, giving them money, whatever it is, if you have the ability to help and you can help, then you are overcoming a division and you are showing that person the love and compassion that's within you. That is your part of God. There are people in families who heal generational rifts through empathy. But oftentimes, there are people in the family who won't accept the empathy because of their own fear-based ideologies and their own power plays or their own religious beliefs or their own political beliefs. All you're responsible for is you being unconditional. No matter what they say or do, you love them. They may not do the same to you, but your unconditional nature is, I don't need the validation of their love to be unconditional. I'm simply unconditional. Oftentimes, you'll find two people who are bitter enemies who, for some reason, decide to listen. Listening is the number one power of love. To hear where somebody else is, to be able to help them bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to be, to show them the ability that you can love and listen. To listen to someone is to let them be heard, and everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to be heard. So start with asking questions and listening, really listening to what they're creating about their present moment, what they're declaring about the now. Are they talking about their struggles and about their poverty, their lack? And can you show them a way to start believing a better outcome into their experience? Remember that God is love in motion, and those motions are your thoughts, words, and deeds. It's creation, not reaction. You being the love and delivering the love gives you the opportunity to create a loving world, one person at a time. And every loving act you do is a vibration that echoes through the collective. It ripples. It slides out into the world and becomes this thing that people go, what's that? What's that? And they start to recognize the love and they decide that, wow, that really works. I'd like to do that myself. The miracle isn't the action, it's the chain reaction it starts. It's about you putting out one single loving action and watching how the world reflects behind you a beautiful outcome. What can you do today? What can you take today and go out in the world? When you see something, can you exhale first and say, what's the loving thing to do here? How can I deliver love to this person? You can do it in small acts, a smile, forgiveness, being present and recognizing what's needed and give it in that moment. Shift the energy of the people around you by being the energy of love and compassion. How can I bring love to this moment? The goal isn't to win the argument or to prove you're right. The goal is to heal the divide, to come back to the core essence of love and deliver it to the person in front of you. When you can deliver it to the person in front of you, you are literally delivering God. And love is not weakness. It's the greatest strength of all. And you are more powerful than you could ever imagine. If you choose to act in love, you are literally wielding the power of God. And right here in this present moment, you can show somebody else that God is here, God is present, God is love, and they are worthy of that love. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.